Kia ora, Aries. This is your reading for the full moon in Gemini, which happens here in Aotearoa today, or this evening, actually. And yeah, it's the 7th today here. It's a Wednesday. So here we are coming to you. Thanks for joining me. Thank you for your likes and all of that. Comments. Great to hear how people are doing over this time. So let's get into the storyline here today. Aries, we've got the cards. I just shuffled them. We've got the Lovers, a synthesizing of elements possibly in your world, within yourself. We're looking at duality. It's the perfect card of Gemini. We are in this Gemini full moon. Mars is in Gemini retrograde until beginning of next year, I think, isn't it? There's a tendency possibly for harsh speech. I mean, or it's hard to know what's true and what's not, Aries, at the moment. It's hard to know what is true and what is not. But there is a wonderful balancing or integration of those aspects within yourself, left brain, right brain. There's a nice conjoining. The Lovers is a real sort of alchemical card within itself. Then we have the Six of Swords, which is about really moving to a calmer place, or could be physically, could be just mentally, a calmer place within your own mind. It's a lovely balanced card. All the sixes are. So we've got the Lovers as a 6. We have the Six of Swords. Lady Frida Harris, who painted all of these, translated them, all of these cards in the Thoth deck, describes these lines in the background here of all the defensive positions in fencing. It's like we've got all bases covered. We understand what we need, and we understand where that movement lies in order to get to that place that is more conducive for us. Is there a change going on for you, Aries? Possibly, but it's good. It's good. It's good. We then have the Eight of Cups. We're speaking about, we leave this card. I mean, the Eight of Cups often shows a figure walking towards, have I got something on my glasses there? I think it's just the reflection. We walk away towards this golden horizon line, because the Two of Cups exists at the point of this horizon line. You see it in the Two of Cups in the Thoth deck. It's got a golden background, and this golden horizon line, what was I saying? In some decks you see a figure leaving these 8 cups to look for the 2. But what it does, but largely what it's about is a level of emotional objectivity. I think you need that at the moment. And for some Aries out there, remember these are very general readings, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. For some Aries out there, could be a kind of split at the moment. We are talking about dualities that exist within the Lovers. But in fact, in this storyline, it's like there is a split between knowing this process of moving to a calmer place, somehow feeling restricted. You'll see why I'm saying this. And in the middle, we have the boundary line, which is objectivity in terms of our emotional world. We need to embody that at the moment, Aries. You'll see what I mean. We've got the Nine of Swords coming up, which is about unfounded fear and worry. Now, sometimes Look, I'd say all the time, every time, catastrophic thinking does no good because we get wound up, we get stressed, and we can't see clearly and we can't be objective emotionally. So we need to just, temper things here a wee bit. We also have the Eight of Swords, which is about self-limitation. We understand that self-limitation actually can haunt us a little bit. And we see it in the Nine of Swords. The worrying, the nightmares, or the waking up, at night or at early hours of the morning and you're just worrying about stuff. Look, often it's movement that's the key here. Movement. Psychologically or in a literal sense. Moving to a place that's more conducive to you. This Nine of Swords is not conducive. It exacerbates things. We don't need more worry in our lives. We act. We do. We move things. We shift things around in order to allay our fears. If we're feeling stuck, it's not that we are physically unable to, or it's like an emotional, I say it's just a mental thing or an emotional thing. That is the hardest thing to shift the energy, right? But in the middle, we've got a key. We've got the Eight of Cups, which is saying, look, I know, easier said than done sometimes. Let's just have a bit of detachment. Let's just not take all of this personally. So whatever's going on here, Aries, it is about the journey of becoming more whole and integrating certain things within the self. Sometimes it doesn't go down well with those around us, but it's not their life, is it? Or they're not us. So, we've got the Lovers, we have Justice coming out, this beautiful red cloaked figure with one sword of truth. So it's sort of like if we're in any kind of confusion about what's true for us, because there's a lot of, we know we get affected, we listen to what other people are saying we should do or whatever, blah, blah, blah. In the end, we have to follow what is our true nature, what we think is our true nature. Sometimes we get it works, sometimes, it either works or we're just in a state of confusion, There's natural law involved here. Justice, it's about balance. We've got 2 sixes, it's about balance. Primary element in this reading. And not to get swept up in the contradictions and what is real and what's not. Don't get swept up by the external, all the media, all of that. We need balance here, Aries. And I think it's on a more personal level anyway for you. There's a reactionary element here with the Knight of Wands. Can be impulsive, it's very fiery. And it can shift and change very quickly as well. We see the salamander on the helmet. It's a bit of a shape-shifting energy in the Morgan Greer deck. You may well be dealing with someone who's a bit like that, who's sort of off and on. You never quite know. You kind of, a little bit unpleasant, actually. 6 of Swords. You never quite know. 6 of Swords, this is your place. Jump in that boat. Get to that calmer place. Follow the sun. Follow what makes you happy. If there's any confusion, follow that thing, Aries. The sun. It's vital, it's beautiful. This is the thing here. We've got the Eight of Swords again. We've got it twice. There's somewhere in here you don't want to let go of something, you don't want to integrate something. The risks of that might be too great, but so it's a testing time for you, Aries. It's a testing time. Self-limitation is the key. It's actually all about the mind, The Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups. Eight's all about what's happening up here. We need to understand those self-limitations, where they come from. Eight of Cups, please. And sometimes we always have them, Sometimes, I knew that was going to come out. Sometimes through life, we just work with we understand, as long as we're aware of what our self-limitations are at any given time. We all have that thing like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not confident enough. How do I get more confident? I can't do that because I can't do it. These things, it's just all based on fear. So Eight of Cups, a level of emotional objectivity. We can shift that within our own mind, right? We can shift the Eight of Swords in our mind. It is shifting energy. Rumination often does not a lot of good. As I said, I knew the Ten of Discs was probably going to come out when we're looking at that Eight of Cups. Where does this limitation come from? We're looking back here. We're looking back to childhood. We're not using it as an excuse. Whatever happens in our childhood, whatever we have experienced as a child, what messages did we get as a child that added to or birthed the development of our own idea of where we are limited and what our fears are. There's a sense here that the sort of sun and the fiery energy, or the sun as a wonderful symbol of expression and vitality, has been dampened over time, or somewhere in here, Aries. So we look back to our childhood, the messages that we got, to understand our own fears and levels of self-limitation within this situation, within our life. We're looking at the Nine of Swords. Rumination, worry. We seem to get these two cards coming out. Burden. There's a burden, or something that you're feeling. You've had enough. You've carried this for quite a while. You want to let it go. We've got the Ten of Wands. We've got the Fool. You want to start something fresh, new, all of that. And that's wonderful. New growth, all of that wonderful stuff. We need to get rid of whatever that burden is. We need to understand it. But I think the more accurate word is that we just need to be aware of it before we start that new journey. The Eight of Wands. The Eight of Swords. Messages coming through. The Empress has a message. Self-love, self-forgiveness is a key within this week, or this new lunation of this full moon in Gemini, Aries. The Empress nurturing mother love, creativity, all of that wonderful stuff. But it emphasizes self-forgiveness and being gentle on yourself. Self-forgiveness is the key here. You might think, that's not going to work. Practice it. Practice it. We're so hard on ourselves, Aries, often. We're our own worst critics. We're our own worst critics. So on that note, let's get a Brian Froud. So it is, you see what I mean by this reading being kind of split in two with the Eight of Cups in the middle. The need to be objective. Very difficult sometimes. We've got this wonderful potential for wholeness and being in a place that allows our light to shine, yet we're crippled a little bit here by worry, by self-limitation. I can't think of it. Look, we've got Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairies. We have on hand, Aries, the fairy godmother. I mean, this is such a glorious card. And you see she's holding to what look like balls, like Christmas decorations almost. But who excuse me, who crowns all it up? Are we speaking our truth? We've got divine assistance with the fairy godmother, I would say. We also have the bodacious bodak, which is about unhelpful help. It is a sort of pest energy. You know, there might be some Aries out there that just want to spend some downtime at the moment on their own. If you find that you've got a lot of stuff going on around you or that kind of thing. Let's get a rock mineral crystal, Aries, for you. Let's see. Beautiful cards, very simple, these cards. That's why I like them. We've got sapphire, love sapphire. Excuse me, channeled wisdom, psychic ability, self-expression, and destiny. Look, destiny seems to be an important word here because we make that, we create that ourselves by taking the reins. On that note, lovely Aries, thanks for joining me. Take care. Enjoy the beautiful full moon in Gemini, and we'll see you next time. Ka kite, bye.